Audio check. Audio check. Hello, everyone. In the sake of saving everyone's time, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the public meeting for the upcoming Marion Street Storm System Phase 2 project. My name is Aaron McMichael, and I will be the construction project manager for City of Denver on this project. Before we dive into the project information, I want to take a few minutes to talk through the technology of this event and explain some of the ground rules, so to speak. The intention for this meeting is similar to other public meetings that you may have attended in the traditional sense. We'll have a presentation that comes across your screen, the presenter, who is myself, talking over the slides. The presentation will then be followed by a question and answer session. Currently, you should see on your screen the cover page for today's presentation. On the far right-hand side of your screen, you should see a live event Q&A banner. At the bottom of the banner, you should see a blue button labeled Ask a Question. At any point in the presentation, you can click that button and ask a question to our chat monitors. You can elect to post the question with your name or anonymously. If the chat monitors are able to answer your question, and it's applicable to the entire audience, they will publish the question for everyone to see. If the question is only applicable to you as an individual, the chat monitors will just respond to you directly. And you'll see that correspondence in the My Questions tab of the live event Q&A banner. Should your question or comment be offensive or inappropriate, it will be dismissed, and repeat offenses to that will be blocked. If chat monitors are not able to answer your question, please be patient, as myself or the project team will be doing the Q&A at the end of the presentation. If you have very specific questions, specifically about your home or your landscaping in front of your home, for example, if you're saying, I live at so-and-so address on Marion Street, and I need, I have some rose bushes that need to be protected. That's something that we're going to have to come out and investigate. So I just ask that you bear with us there on some of those types of questions. And also, my contact info is available on the project website, on the postcard mailings that you should have received that went out to everyone within 500 feet of the project. And all of that will be available at the end of the presentation, and we'd be more than happy to discuss those type of items. We'll do our best to capture all the relevant questions that are asked today and supply a response. However, if we do miss something, we will be going back through the transcripts of this presentation and posting a comprehensive question and answer document on the project website. We will also be providing a link to this completed presentation on the website as well. So I believe I've covered the platform and the ground rules, so let's jump into the presentation. The purpose of this presentation is to allow the community adjacent to the project to become more informed on what new infrastructure we are installing, why this project is necessary, and what to expect regarding duration and community impacts, and how to best stay informed throughout the project and how to communicate with the project team when questions or concerns come up. I'm joined today by Matt Vojkovic, who's the project manager for BT Construction, and Mike Donahue, who's a vibration specialist with Integrated Geotechnical Solutions. BT will be the contractor performing the work and supervising any subcontractors that are working underneath them to perform additional scopes of work on the contract. Integrated Geotechnical Solutions is one of those subcontractors brought on board by BT to manage their vibration monitoring and assessment of properties prior to construction starting. We will cover these vibration items in upcoming slides further into the presentation, and the three of us will be available to speak directly to you during the question and answer session at the end of the presentation. Next slide. We have previously discussed the agenda for this meeting on a high level, but the following slides will further introduce the team members and stakeholders of the project. Then we dig into how, why, what, and when of the project details, followed by information on how to stay informed with a question and answer session to wrap everything up. So here are the project stakeholders. You've kind of already met the core of the specific construction team, the City of Denver, BT Construction. However, there are numerous other stakeholders that have been involved in the design and planning of this project. For a large infrastructure project like this to get to the point of being ready to build, it takes multiple months of planning with various utility companies that currently occupy space both above and below ground within the project corridor. Some of these utilities need to be relocated months ahead of the work, while others can be coordinated during BT's construction activities. Next slide. What is it exactly that we're building in your neighborhood? We are building a new storm sewer system designed to reduce historic flooding areas in the 5 Points, Whittier, City Park West, and Cheeseman Park neighborhoods. We will be tying in our new storm system into the recently completed Marion System Phase 1 project just to the north of the intersection of 27th Avenue and Marion Street, then continuing down Marion Street just north of 25th Avenue. This previous phase, along with the completed 33rd Street outfall project, takes stormwater that enters the system along Marion Street, MLK, Downing Street, and 33rd Street, and eventually dumps the water into the South Platte River. Next slide. So Marion Street system will eventually consist of new storm infrastructure running down Marion Street from MLK all the way down to 21st Avenue, where the city of Denver will tie the new infrastructure into an existing infrastructure in Downing Street. Is at this location, 21st and Downing, that there is a pinch point where the new development ties into existing 100-year plus old infrastructure in Downing that is a major contributing factor in flooding in the neighborhoods previously identified. The Marion Street system, once completed, will resolve this pinch point. Same slide. Today, we're here to specifically discuss the second phase of the Marion Street system. This phase will extend from just north of 27th Avenue to just north of 25th Avenue. The remainder of the Marion Street system will be built in 1 or 2 additional phases in the next coming years, depending on funding and completion of design. Phase 2 of this project will install a new 8x8 reinforced concrete box culvert in Marion Street, just north of the intersection of 27th Avenue. Then in 27th Avenue, we will transition to a 96-inch reinforced concrete pipe, continuing with the 96-inch reinforced concrete pipes just north of the intersection of 25th Avenue. Along with the new storm sewer main line, this project will install new inlets and manholes while removing and adapting the existing infrastructure in the area. At the intersection of 26th Avenue, we will be installing an underground water quality vault designed to reduce trash and debris from entering the system, which eventually reduces the amount of debris entering the South Platte River. In addition to the storm sewer infrastructure upgrades, this project will also upgrade all pedestrian ramps to current ADA and City of Denver standards, upgrade all existing curb cuts to current City of Denver standards, relocate and install a new Denver water main line, replacing any existing lead service lines with copper lines, and we'll provide new full-depth asphalt paving on Marion Street and at 27th and 26th Avenue intersections. This slide shows a closer view of the anticipated footprint of the Phase 2 project. BT will be allowed to occupy up to 2 blocks and 1 intersection at a time. Construction will begin with water main relocation work on Marion through the intersection of 27th down to the intersection of 26th Avenue. Once the water line crew is far enough ahead, the excavation for the box culvert will begin just north of 27th Avenue. This is only a 2 block long project, and material storage areas will be needed. Initially, while construction progresses from 27th Avenue towards 26th Avenue, Marion Street from 26th to 25th Avenue will also be closed down and used for material storage. And for safety reasons, there will be no parking allowed in that area. As BT's operations move sequentially from just north of 27th Avenue through 26th Avenue and down just north of 25th Avenue, the material storage will then shift to Marion Street between 27th and 26th. Any given block should anticipate being under some form of active construction or material storage, and therefore being closed to vehicular traffic for the duration of the project. We will always maintain walk-up access to your residence from Marion Street. 27th Ave and 26th Avenue will never be closed at the same time, and there are no plans to close 25th Avenue during this phase of the project. When either 27th Ave or 26th Ave is closed, there will be soft closures between the alley and the west and to Lafayette to the east, and we will allow parking for those residents affected by the loss of parking in front of their homes. And this slide shows that this area of town sits in a basin that naturally feeds into the South Platte River. Before Denver was a city, prior to any development, rainwater in this area would soak into the earth or run along the surface and creek beds until it reached the Platte River. As the area has been developed, areas that were earth were replaced with impervious surfaces, such as asphalt and concrete for roads, parking lots, buildings and houses are also considered impervious. The more impervious surfaces we have, the more running water down the street, down the surface of the streets and parking lots, and less water being absorbed into the ground. The goal of this project is to help stormwater runoff get into the storm system and off the surface as efficiently as possible. Here you can see additional areas in the basin that experience flooding, sometimes as much as 6 feet in certain areas. And here's another slide highlighting some of the worst reported flooding areas on file. And on this slide, when you add, what we're trying to say here is when you add all of the completed 33rd Street outfall systems and all of the upcoming and completed phases of the Marion Street system, you start to get an idea of how these infrastructure improvements will reduce the strain on the existing undersized storm sewer system in Downing Street from 21st to MLK. Here you can see some of the examples of flooding that is occurring and causing safety and property issues to residents, businesses, and commuters that this project will address. In the top photograph, you can see floodwater surcharging out of a manhole in the 27th and Welton intersection. The bottom picture shows the flooding that occurs at the Welton and Washington intersection during heavy storm events. Both of these occurrences and others in the area you will see on the next handful of slides are caused by the previously mentioned overtaxed storm sewer system in Downing Street. The Marion Street system will ease the existing burden on this line so it can provide better service to the areas that are experiencing flooding similar to those seen on these pictures. This slide shows some of the existing 100-year-old brick storm line that is under Downing Street. You can see that a lot of the pipe is in great condition, but the real problem lies in that it is too small for the amount of stormwater it needs to transport given today's surface conditions. The pipe you're seeing in these photos are 5-foot diameter or equivalent. By contrast, the new storm line will be replacing down Marion Street as an 8-foot by 8-foot tall concrete box culvert, which transitions to an 8-foot diameter concrete pipe. It will intercept the existing storm sewer lines in 27th and 26th Avenues coming in from the east that are 21 inches in diameter, which will further reduce the load on the brick storm in Downing Street. This slide is showing a cross-section of a typical block of Marion Street looking south. You can see that the contractor will need to dig an 18-foot wide trench ranging from 12 to 18 foot deep down the middle of Marion Street. They have to relocate, support, or remove numerous existing utilities, both running parallel to Marion Street and perpendicular at the 27th Ave and 26th Ave intersections. They also have to navigate every single existing gas and water service line that they encounter. Because of the size and depth of the excavations required to install not only the storm main line, but the lateral lines connecting manholes and inlets to the main line, as well as along with concrete flatwork and asphalt paving, it is not safe nor feasible for the blocks under active construction or material storage to be open to vehicular traffic. The reality is, if you live on Marion Street between 27th Ave and 25th Ave, you need to prepare yourself to not be able to drive the front door to your front door or park on the street in front of your property for the duration of the construction project. The street closure will also impact any of your property, any occupant who has a driveway access off of Marion Street. We will always maintain walk-up access to your residence or business from Marion Street. We will not be touching the sidewalk in front of your property unless you live on a corner or need to have a lead service line replaced. We need to perform concrete work to upgrade the ADA ramps on all four corners of the intersection of 27th Avenue and 26th Avenue, but we will not close all four corners at one time. As stated before, 27th Ave and 26th Ave will never be shut down at the same time, and there are no plans to shut down 25th Avenue during this phase. We will not be shutting down any block or blocking any alley access during construction on either side of Marion Street. So some, but not all of the addresses on Marion Street do have access to their property through the alleys. If your specific property does not have adequate alley access, you will need to start preparing yourself to park on adjacent streets. This picture will give you an idea of why it will be unsafe for people and vehicles to be allowed within the construction site. This picture is very typical of what the installation of a new 8-foot by 8-foot concrete box, then an 8-foot diameter concrete pipe will look like. Except in our case, there will be houses, structures, residents, and constituents for us to coordinate and collaborate with on both sides of our work. The slide rail shoring system you can see in this picture is very similar to the technique that BT will employ in order to keep their deep excavations from collapsing on the infrastructure being installed and onto their workers. The size of the equipment that you see in this picture is very similar to what you should expect to see on Marion Street. As you can see, there is no way to safely maintain on-street parking or vehicular access to the blocks that are under construction. What was a neighborhood street will transform for a period of time into an active live construction site surrounded by barricades and temporary fence panels to keep the public safe and away from the equipment and excavations. BT is contractually obligated to minimize their impacts to residents, businesses, and constituents. However, there's no way to perform the task they've been hired to do and eliminate all of the negative impacts that these individuals will be exposed to when it comes to an infrastructure project of this size. Part of my responsibilities as the construction project manager for the city is to ensure that BT is communicating with residents and business owners regarding upcoming loss of access or other impacts to the neighborhood. I will also work hand in hand with BT and the community to ensure the contractor is taking every step they can to abide by the contract specifications in order to provide a quality product for the city of Denver that will last for years to come, while also simultaneously seeking innovative ways to minimize the negative impact on the community. But we also need the community's involvement as well. If you have concerns, please reach out to us. If you have special circumstances that require additional thought on our end, we want to hear from you. If you're frustrated by the process and tired of our detours, noise, dust, etc., please let us know. We're putting our names and contact information out there for the community in order to hear from you. We will not always be able to satisfy every person, but we can, as a project team, listen and try to address your concerns. So please let us hear from you. At the end of this presentation, please take the time to record the contact information, website address, project hotline, and sign up for the weekly newsletter. It will help to keep you informed and will proactively head off at least some of the headaches that come along with construction of this nature. Getting into the where now. So one of those headaches that comes along with this project will be the detours of the streets that will be closed and occupied by BT during construction. As we've gone over, Marion Street will be closed for the construction through the intersection of 27th Avenue to 26th Avenue. 26th Avenue will remain open while 27th Avenue is closed. But again, Marion will be closed between 26th Avenue and 25th Avenue for material storage. Once construction progresses through 26th Avenue, 27th Avenue will reopen. Construction will continue down to 25th Avenue and material storage will then shift to the closed section of Marion between 27th and 26th Avenue. When 27th Avenue is closed, the local traffic will be detoured to 26th Avenue via Lafayette Street or Downing Street. When 26th Avenue is closed, the local traffic will be detoured to either 23rd Avenue or 29th Avenue via Downing Street. We will always maintain walk-up access to your residence or business from Marion Street. And as BT develops and gets their traffic control plans approved, we'll be placing valuable information on the website and in the email updates to keep you informed of the changing conditions. Today, we have covered the who, what, why, how, and where of the Marion Street Storm Project. Now we will talk about the when. The simple answer is that the contract period of performance starts on April 4th and will last for roughly 28 weeks or 6 months. That puts the end of the contract in the October 2022 timeframe. The entire project team, both BT and the City of Denver, will look to improve on that timing through careful planning and communication, but there are always unknown issues that arise in construction, particularly underground heavy civil construction, that could impact the schedule in a negative way. Active construction is anticipated to begin in Marion Street just north of the intersection of 27th Ave in early April 2022. The period between now and the start of BT's period of performance on April 4th will be filled with communicating with property owners and occupants that live within 250 feet of the project limits. This next slide has to do with construction vibration and what to expect during the course of the project. Another unpopular negative impact on a large-scale infrastructure project like this, with deep excavation, slide rail shoring systems, and large equipment, is there will be vibrations that are caused by construction activities that you will be able to feel. Similar to road closures, parking restrictions, and detours is not something that can be eliminated in its entirety from the project. What we can do is monitor the vibration that is being caused by the construction activities in real time and stop said activities before they reach a project-specific threshold established to protect adjacent structures. Mike Donahue with Integrated Geotechnical Solution is going to jump in here in the next couple of slides to talk more with the audience about the difference between vibration types and levels that your body can feel and experience, and those levels that can cause damage to structures. Part of establishing this project-specific threshold is to require BT Construction to provide property owners within 250 feet of the project limits with an opportunity to have a pre-construction facility condition assessment performed on the structures at your property prior to any construction activity. This requirement is intended to provide both the homeowner and the contractor with a documented condition report of your structure prior to construction activities. This report will be shared with the property owner free of charge, and it's theirs to keep. The assessments and conditions of the surrounding properties will be taken into account by BT and Integrated Geotechnical Solutions, along with construction methodology, industry standards for vibration tolerances, soil types, and etc., to determine a damage threshold that BT will have to stay under. Ensuring they stay under the established project-specific vibration tolerances will be achieved by implementing a vibration monitoring plan that actively monitors all vibrations at the job site during construction. In line with our specification, this monitoring will be in real time, and the project team will be alerted when the readings begin to approach the threshold. If that happens, all vibration causing activities on site will be suspended until we can collectively figure out what activity is causing the vibrations to spike and how we can move forward while ensuring we stay under the project specific threshold. The document you see here is part of the outreach program that BT and Integrated Geotechnical Solutions will be sending out in the next couple of weeks. And that's the pamphlet you see there on your left. This document will be distributed to every address within 500 feet of the project limits and contains additional information regarding construction vibration, proactive requirements the city has placed on BT Construction to monitor and minimize the impacts of construction vibration, and also things you as a homeowner or resident can do to help ensure you are protecting your property and valuables inside as well. Please keep an eye out for this document in the coming days and weeks. It will be mailed to your address and be posted on our project website in the near future. Before we hear from Mike, I would like to finally highlight some additional public outreach that the community should be anticipating from BT and Integrated Geotechnical Solutions in the near future. Depending on where you live, the outreach you're receiving will vary. In general, these mailings and communication attempts will start on the north end of the project and move to the south towards 25th Avenue. It is important to note that if you live in a multifamily residential complex, there's a chance that we have already spoken to your property owner regarding these communications. They have directed us not to involve their tenants and engage with their property management directly. If this applies to you and you have any questions about the communication, please reach out to me directly by phone or email. We have already sent out a project information postcard to address to every address on file within 500 feet of the project limits. This postcard outlined how to get in touch with the project team members and how to best stay informed via the project hotline, webpage, and email updates. All of this information will be available again at the end of this presentation. The vibration pamphlet on the previous slide will be sent out to all addresses within 500 feet of the project limits sometime this month. If you live within 250 feet of the project limits, you will receive a letter in the mail along with the vibration pamphlet requesting you schedule a pre-construction facility condition assessment. To ensure that we provide occupants and owners with ample time to receive the assessment request, we will require BT to adhere to the outreach plan shown at the bottom of this slide. This outreach plan consists of 2 mailings and 2 in-person attempts to contact the owner or occupants of the identified addresses, spaced out by mandatory waiting periods before entering the next phase of the outreach plan. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mike Donahue, I believe, with Integrated Geotechnical Solutions, to talk a little bit more in depth about the construction vibration. Mike, are you there, or should I just go ahead and keep talking? Okay, so I'll just go ahead and talk for Mike. So what this slide is saying is humans will sense vibration as levels much lower than which are required to cause damage to structures. Basically, a human being is a really good vibration monitor, and they can pick up on very low levels of vibration. That's just how we're built. Environmental effects such as wind, temperature changes, humidity changes, precipitation can generally exert greater stresses on a structure than even the most significant of construction vibrations. Most houses with more than 10 years old will have a pre-existing, i.e. before construction starts, hairline, cosmetic cracks in the drywall, stucco, etc. We can feel vibrations as perceptible at 0.011 inches per second of peak particle velocity, the PPV. We note vibrations as severe at levels as low as 0.301 inches per second, PPV. So you can see that's quite a wide range between what you're feeling and then where we are experiencing severe vibration levels. A 20-degree temperature change can have an equivalent stress on a structure of up to 2.0 inches per second. So stay informed. We're getting close to the end of the presentation here in the Q&A session, but first few quick slides providing some additional information on how to stay connected to the project team throughout construction. I will leave each one of these slides up for a period of time so you can write down the information, print screen, take a picture, whatever you need to ensure that you have access to the information when you need it. And as I said before, all this information is available on the website. But if you have to be able to get it, you can get it here first.
Aaron, there's a question in the Q&A that we weren't able to answer, and that is, when will the water quality planners be installed, and what location are they in?
So we are not doing as on phase one, we had the stormwater quality planners with the bulb outs. This phase doesn't have any of those. We've got, as previously mentioned, there's a stormwater quality vault that's being installed in the 26th Avenue intersection. But on this phase, we don't have plans for those similar water quality features on phase one.
Thank you so much. And just to verify, I know that when we walked this during its original planning phase, we looked at the school parking lot, and that we were going to maintain access to the parking lot. Can you confirm that, Aaron? I just want to make sure that my answer, I said, we will maintain access to the school parking lot at all times.
Yep. Absolutely. We don't have any plans on closing 25th Avenue during this phase, and yeah, all access to the school will remain open, including the parking lot.
Thank you, and sorry to interrupt. Thanks a lot.
No problem. So yeah, I think let's scroll through these.
Aaron, they asked, there's a follow-up to the stormwater planner question. Will there be bump outs installed where, in the same fashion as on the other streets, we're maintaining the existing curb line alignment?
Yes, so that we are not installing any bump outs. The current alignment of the curb and gutter is going to stay right where it is currently. And yeah, there's no bump outs, and the width of the street is going to stay the same as it is now.
Awesome, thank you.
So let's go ahead. I think we've make sure everybody's got time to write down all this specific information here about the project, and then we'll kind of move on to the Q&A. And there's, as promised, here's my direct contact information as well as Matt's contact information. If you have an immediate need, such as a utility outage, safety concerns, access issue, please give me a call directly so we can alert the people that are on site and respond as quickly as possible. With that being said, we've reached the end of the formal part of the presentation. Feel free to send your questions now, and we'll go ahead to go into that. So I'm getting a question, is why is the temperature in a home affected due to vibrations? I guess I can clarify what I'm trying to say there. And let me pull up that slide. But basically what we're trying to say there is that temperature as well as moisture in the air can affect your home just as much as the same level of vibration that you would see at a 2.0 inch per second ppv. So that with that, if you see cracks forming in your home, it could be due to, we have a lot of moisture coming in, and we get a lot of moisture in your home, and then it dries out for a period of time, and that could cause a crack. I guess that's what I'm trying to clarify there. So if you have follow-up questions there, you know, please keep them coming. Yeah, some of these questions have probably already been answered. But so first one, let's see, that's Dave. So we have a person of contact for any problems, concerns. I think we've all seen the contact info for everybody. What does Marion Street between 26th and 25th Ave start? So I guess the answer to that question is pretty much immediately, as we'll be using that area for material storage. We'll be able to park in the school parking lot. I can't speak specifically about the public parking in the school parking lot itself, but yes, the parking lot will be open during construction. If we need landscaping or home maintenance done, how can we be accommodated during the project? I've spoken to several residents that are having they're either moving out or having tree work done. The short answer is most likely we can accommodate you. The further away you are from the major construction, i.e. all of the deep excavations and whatnot, you know, the easier it'll be to accommodate you. But once we have an open excavation in front of your house, it's going to get more and more difficult to make those accommodations. So just keep that in mind. How will packages from UPS, FedEx be delivered? Yeah, Dave answered that one right on. They'd be able to access by foot. Sorry, is this water filtration systems? Okay, that was I think we answered this one about the bulb outs and water quality features. Not on this phase, but we do have a storm water quality bolt that goes underground at 26th Avenue. Yep, and yeah, hours of operation, typically, as Dave stated, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. If there is weekend work necessary, it's basically between 8 and 5, but we're going to try to avoid any weekend work. Already answered the bump out question. Got the hotline up there again. We'll again, all that's going to be posted on the website. And the locations of the vibration monitors, that'll basically be determined by integrated geotechnical solutions. They will, typically there'll be one at the beginning of the job, maybe one at the end, and one right by the work. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they're planning on doing, but that's typically how we do it. It kind of monitors the project from both ends, and then right there where the major vibration is happening. We got a question about who contacts the Whittier principal about parking in their lot. So I can be the point of contact there. I'm assuming that they're not going to be, wanting that to happen until after school is out, which, we're starting in April, so we've got about another month and a half of school left until it's out for the summer. But I'll get back to you on that question. I'll get in touch with the Whittier principal and we can put out an announcement through the website. And kind of get to the end of those questions. Got another question coming in. Will we not have alley access to our garages and homes sometimes? That is not what we said. The actuality is that sorry, I was getting some, but yeah, the actuality is the alleys will remain open during construction. So if you have access to your property through the alley, it will be maintained throughout the construction project. I guess I'd like to address the construction hours. It's basically the hours is driven by the city's noise ordinance. So the noise ordinance allows for basically construction type activities to happen between, as stated before, 7 and 10 p.m. That doesn't mean that our contractor will be working from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Typically, work hours are from 7 a.m. to about 5 p.m. And sometimes it runs a little bit later than that if we're, running into a water service tie-in or something of that nature. But typically, they're looking to get in about a 10-hour day, which would be from about 7 to 5. So we've got a question that's been posted asking what are the vibration thresholds for houses built around 1900 and for their stained leaded glass windows? And then 2, how are the vibration thresholds for these old houses and fragile stained leaded windows determined? The answer in a nutshell is specific questions regarding vibration and its effect on your home should be discussed at the time of your precondition assessment performed by Mike Donahue with the vibration project vibration consultant, because each house is different. Talked about parking at the school. Okay, the school locks the parking lot. Yeah. Again, though, I will I will get in touch with the Whittier principal and see what can be done there, but I'm anticipating them not allowing it until after school is out, but I will reach out and we will make an announcement on the possibility of parking within the school parking lot. The kind of the plan though with the parking that I discussed earlier is that we will have on 27th Avenue and 26th Avenue, we'll have no parks put up specifically to allow for parking between Marion Street and the alleys going to the east and the west on both of those avenues. So we're hoping to help those that don't have alley access to be able to park on those parts that we're blocking off with no parks. There's no plans to post the daily vibration data on the website. And I would, it's basically up to the contractor if they want to share that information. Otherwise, it has to go through a Colorado Open Records Act request. What time will your work start and stop? Again, I'm thinking 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. typically. Again, it's kind of driven, our hours are kind of driven by the noise ordinance, which does allow anything between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. But typically, yeah, we're done and out of there by 5, 6 o'clock at night. Yeah, hopefully we can get everybody's kids to bed before 10. And the questions have kind of slowed down quite a bit, so we'll stay on here for another 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if you have any additional questions, please feel free to post them. And if not, everybody should have contact info to get them to us. So we got a question that came in about tickets for street sweeping. The long and short of that is no, you need to obey all traffic signs as posted. We will not be able to, get an exemption or exception for the street sweeping. If you're within our closure and we have it no parked, then we'll figure out some way to give you some sort of permit or a copy of our permit to display in your vehicle so that you will be allowed to stay in that parking area that we provided. But if you're outside of our work zone and you're parking in one of those street sweep areas, you need to obey the signs. All right, everybody, we are not getting any more questions in. So if you still have questions, you have all of our contact information. You can call me, email me directly, and yeah, we'll see you out there. Thank you for attending.